PR9. Now, the Canberra was a wonderful aeroplane. It was really one of the first generation jets. It was the first jet bomber. And it was manufactured in large numbers throughout the 1950s. 4 prototypes were ordered in early 1946, but all the prototypes were built on production jigs. So the aircraft was designed to go into production from the get-go. First aircraft didn't fly until the 13th of May 1949. It was similar in configuration to the Meteor, the jet fighter that had seen a little bit of action just in the early last days in the closing overs of World War II. And you see it as you come around now, it has a very large, very big area of wing, and halfway down that wing are the 2 jet engines. These varied on various different marks of Canberra, but the ones that are powering this aeroplane are Rolls-Royce Avons. A few modifications were needed. It had new engines, which was Avons, and a bomb aimer's glass nose. The resultant aircraft was called the Canberra B2 and first flew on the 21st of April 1950, piloted by Roland Beaumont. There is a wonderful story that Roland Beaumont took one of the early Canberras to America for trials, and as he was approaching the American coast, he was contacted on the radio by American ground controllers that said, "Canberra, could you let us have your altitude?" To which he replied, "No, I'm sorry, I can't, because it's classified." They said, "Let us have your altitude." Repeat, "Let us have your altitude." He said, "I repeat, I cannot, it is classified." And they said, "Well, in that case, we will send up interceptors to intercept you." And he said, "Be my guest." And he sat there as he watched 10,000 or so feet below him, F-86 Sabres falling out of the sky because they simply couldn't reach him. That went a long way to help the Americans decide to actually build the Canberra under license. It was in some ways similar to the Mosquito bomber. It was designed to be fast, fly fast and high with powerful engines, but with no armament, on the basis that it was faster and higher than the resulting fighters, as indeed proved to be the case, then it was going to be pretty well untouchable. Of course, that changed in later years with missile technology, but for a time it was faster and more capable than a lot of fighter aircraft. It was also a very manoeuvrable aeroplane. Now coming past with everything hanging, with flaps and wheels down, on a slow pass, we have Mike Leckie flying the Canberra PR9. I'm reminded he's ex-Battle of Britain Memorial Flight DC-3 captain, so I'm not jealous of him at all. Oh yes, I am. Has just pointed out there ought to be a connection between Leckie and English electric, but I think that would be really, really bad. However, it was built in a total of 57 versions that equipped 35 RAF squadrons, and it was exported to more than 15 countries, including Australia, Argentina, Chile, Ecuador, Ethiopia, France, India, New Zealand, Pakistan, Peru, Rhodesia, South Africa, Sweden, Venezuela and West Germany. So a tremendous export success at a time post-war when we really needed it. Western Aircraft's technical director and chief designer Dr. Petty where he was encouraged to develop design. I mentioned earlier on that pointed out that in his view it was the English Electric Lightning, another English Electric product and an absolute world beater.
Well, yeah, it's got 4.
The Canberra also managed to do a number of records, and it was victorious in the last great air race from London to Christchurch in New Zealand in 1953, piloted by Flight Lieutenant Monty Burton. He touched down at Christchurch 41 minutes ahead of his closest rival after 23 hours and 51 minutes in the air. To this day, that record has never been broken. And you can go and see that very aircraft in the Royal Air Force Museum at Hendon. There with the blue note, Mike's climbing up. I believe is that the last. Yes, I'm getting a thumbs up from the thing. That was the last pass. That was a wonderful display. So thanks to Mike.